Good morning, everybody. Let's see who we've got in the live chat today. As soon as I rotate the wrenches out, Rabbit. I will give you one for today, however. Okay, it is Monday. A bunch of good, bad, and indifferent shit happened over the weekend, so we're going to recap that really quick. There we are. Let me see. Who am I saying good morning to this morning? Customary scroll up and roll. Morning, Nilk and Mariel. I have a purposeful discussion in my live chat this morning. A Jason Braziel, a White Rabbit, a Tranime, a Mr. Scarecrow, and let me see. And we have a Sir Wolfie in the live chat this morning. Let me key up my talking points here. Come on, open up. Everything works slow. I can't wait for October 24th. Swear to God, I'm going to have my new computer. I get to tinker with it. So I am running solo. Ronan started his work week, so there is that. He came back from LA. Broken van. Hello, morning, Scotch. Let me see here. So he came back from LA Saturday. United, the flight from San Francisco or Rose something, not Santa Rosa, but Rosemont, I think he said he was from. The flight going out and coming back home was over 20 hours. That included two 2-hour flight delays. So it was absolutely freaking horrible. He did make a joke, however, that as soon as he arrived in LA on Monday morning, the entire state burst into flames, referencing the wildfires. Some people call that a pretty good joke. Some people call it a horrible joke. Some people say it's way too soon since the fires are still raging. But that's my husband. He is the consummate trucker, and there is no filter there. So whatever he thinks, he usually says, no matter how crude it tends to be. Innuendo he can find, and whether he gives you a chance to correct the innuendo or not, that's on him. There was a buzz and a problem going on over the weekend. A discovery that was started sometime late last week, carried through the weekend, and culminated in a podcast on the Void podcast channel about the curious case of Pagan Minotaur. Now, I'm bringing this up here because I am not going to do a video on it. I did a brief apology on Twitter, and this is all I am going to say. There were too many holes in the story once everybody started looking into it. There was one person in particular that saw the holes more than others, pointed it out. We came together as a small group of people, did some more investigation, and it led to Pagan admitting that the doxing threat that he told everybody he was under was manufactured by him. You heard me correctly. It's a hoax. Now, there are a lot of people sitting there picking on us for being duped, having the wool pulled over our eyes, whatever term you want to use. It's like this, at least for me. When you talk to someone on an everyday basis in your server, and I don't mean typing to them, I don't mean DMing them, and I do not mean, picking on them on Twitter. When you literally verbally in voice chat talk to this person every day, and they tell you how their life is going, and they tell you how everything is progressing, and they tell you how much stress they're under, you listen. You become friends. And you want to trust your friends. You want to take what your friends say at face value, and that they're not lying to you, and that they're not going to pull the wool over your eyes. He did it to many. He pulled the wool over many people's eyes. He hurt a lot of us. Agal Matro and I believe it was Gemini was sitting there saying, he goes, no, now the skeptic, now the skeptic community, meaning me and Liz and Zeph and a few other people, now they say they can't trust anybody. No, we never said that. What I personally said was, It'll be harder to trust someone new coming in than it was before Pagan did this. Not that I wouldn't trust them at all. It's that it would be harder to trust someone after Pagan did what he did. Morning Interlace and No Name. It does. It happens. It happens. And you can't shut yourself off to the point where you don't trust anybody at all. But you do have to be leery and have, you know, develop a sense of how to feel people out a little bit better when things happen, because this is going to make it harder to trust other people when they come to you and they need help. You're going to be more leery. You're going to be gun shy. I believe the old cliche is once bitten, twice shy. You're one of those I trust. You're one of those I trust too, Trina May. Morning coffee. Yeah, you can watch. There's a video on Mr. Dapperton. You can go to the Void Podcast channel. Cognitive Thought also released a video on the aftermath of what happened with Pagan and everything, if you want the entire story. I am not going to repeat it, not because I don't think I can be accurate with it, but I'm done. Podcast, he owned up to it. He apologized to it. And in my objective opinion, it takes major cojones to go into a hangout or a Discord voice chat knowing there's going to be people there that are going to grill you, that you have done wrong and whose trust you have broken. It takes a lot of guts to click that link and to be there answering those questions and taking what they have to throw in his direction. It takes integrity to some extent to admit on a live stream in front of everybody who's watching what you did. And it takes even more cojones to apologize. I give him credit for all of that. But now as we move forward, I haven't banned him from my server, but I will be a little more leery with our future conversations. And that's all I have to say on Pagan Minotaur. There are stories I will be keeping an eye on over the next couple of days to do research on. One is over the weekend, a Somalia truck bomb has killed over 300 people. So I'm keeping an eye on that. Iraqi forces, oh God, put my eyeballs on because I can't see the small print. Okay. Iraqi forces Kurds to withdraw from Kirkuk. Sometimes these names are harder to pronounce than you would think. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on that. And also I am trying to piece together all the information that is Las Vegas. Now, I didn't put it down as a recommended view, but Purposeful Discussion, who's floating around in the live chat this morning, has a video on his channel about the curious case of the disappearing security guard, Jesus Campos. So I implore you to watch that if you need a little more insight. But I'm still trying to gather, correlate, confirm. I'm trying to get all these facts together so I can actually do a report. All right, cool. I was about to, I'm going to live streams at the end of the show, Jason, but because I got those links in the description as well. So let's go ahead and get on with the news. All right, let me see here. All right. Then someone who survived the attack and escaped multiple shooters. Yeah, see, that's another thing I have to look into. I have to look into all of those conspiracy theories, the fact that some people were saying there was a second shooter, and there's a lot of stuff to confirm. It's a mess. Sorting through all the information from coming out of Las Vegas is an absolute clusterfuck of a mess. You have sites that are contradicting one another. You have people coming out with conspiracy theories you have to sift through. You have news outlets that you have to compare. I mean, for those of you that didn't know, in order for me to report on Charlottesville when that broke, I literally was looking at 7 to 8 different news sources in order to confirm the facts so I could report the facts as they could be confirmed. So wildfires force a second. No, here's the wildfires. The winds are finally dying down. Thousands got the all clear in order to return. Evacuation orders are down to 75,000 from 100,000 evacuation orders, just to give you a scope of how many evacuation orders were given at the time these wildfires were going everywhere. The wildfires have claimed 40 deaths. That's 40 deaths. It's destroyed over 5,700 homes and other structures. Hundreds of people are still unaccounted for. However, 1,560 of the original 1,700 missing people have been found. So there is a light there. There's some good news there to all the bad shit going on. People will be allowed to go home, won't be allowed to go home until their areas are deemed safe and utilities are restored. The utility companies in that area are estimating a full restoration of all the utilities by this evening, actually. So they are working their asses off. Santa Rosa still has an evac order, so nobody is allowed to go back into Santa Rosa. And if anybody is dumb enough to still be there, and yes, they're bearing down on your ass and you refuse to leave, you deserve what you get, in my opinion. Yeah, I know. Go home implies there is still a home. Yep. You know, it's people are returning to, you know, empty lots, burned out homes, burned down homes, empty husks for those that have brick or, you know, stone homes and things of that nature. So there's going to be a lot of rebuilding. There's going to be a lot of restructuring. The insurance people, let's just face it, insurance companies this year have been hella busy. All the assessors going everywhere to look at this damage. These are people that have to go in after these major disasters have happened to assess all this damage and find out how much, you know, in dollar amounts damage was, you know, done to all these properties and, you know, all these vehicles and whatever these people owned. But in truth, if you take a look at it, what an assessor looks at as a home or just a house or a structure, that was these people's lives. There are photographs that can never be recovered, memories captured in time by the snap of a shutter that have been burnt, never to be recovered or looked at again. These were homes where people grew up, loved one another, supported one another. You know, kids came home from school to these houses. These are homes, a place where love was in many of these cases. And when I say many of these cases, I'm not referring to the structures that were destroyed. I'm referring to the houses. So while they're assessing these homes, these families have to put their life back together again. And that's the truly tragic part of all these disasters. From Texas to Florida to Puerto Rico to California, all of these people now have to figure out how to put their lives together and move on. Wildfire appeared. Wildfire used. It was Traname. Scotch, as bad a thing as Pagan pulled, I will never call him ogre. And I'll explain to you why. He never insulted, he never called anybody any names. Okay? He never went off on wild tangents and accused people of being bigots or anti-Semites or anything like that. However, in his emails and stuff, he was making it look like, you know, he was trying to get two different groups blamed for what was going on. His was a different situation. You can't compare ogre to pagan. That's apples to oranges. Ogre is a boisterous, self-centered, spoiled brat, in my opinion. Heard my name. What was happening? Purposeful. I am going to give you a wrench, sir. And if you are able, put the link to the video that you told me about yesterday in the live chat. The security guard. Stuff like this, fires, makes me build plans on how to quickly get my hard drives and documents into my car and GTFO. I know, Nilk, because, I mean, a fire destroys everything. It's indiscriminate. You know, the fire is indiscriminate. Yeah, I hope everyone's okay. I hope they're able to rebuild their lives over there in California. I hope they're able to pick up and move on. But first, they've got to rebuild, and that's the crux of the situation. And yes, I have this idiot in my newscast. For those of you that don't know this squirrely little fucker, his name is Harvey Weinstein, or Weinstein, however you want to pronounce it. He is in the middle of the biggest Hollywood sex scandal yet. There are still women coming out claiming that he either raped them, sexually molested them, or sexually harassed them. This guy is the scum of the fucking earth. And Weinstein Company, there are whispers. He does. He even looks like a creeper. There are whispers that Weinstein Company is up for sale after this scandal. Are you surprised? They will receive a cash infusion from Colony Capital. They're looking at a potential sale of the portion of the company that had a hand in creating Django Unchained, the Hateful Eight, and Lion. Colony Capital is a private equity arm of Colony North Star, whose founder chaired the Trump inaugural committee. Academy of Motion Picture Arts and BAFTA, for those of you who don't know what BAFTA is short for, that's British Academy of Film and Television Arts, have dropped him like a hot fucking potato. Screen Guild has yanked his rights to the guild, so he's no longer in the Screen Actors Guild. The film arm of Amazon cut ties with Weinstein. Yes, Amazon was going to do some original content with Weinstein Company. No more. Showtime threatened to pull Guantanamo, which is an Oliver Stone drama, because Weinstein Company has a hand in that. And this potential sale is 3 days after Brother Bob said there would be no sale, period. So apparently something has drastically changed its mind. Morning, Futter. Morning, Malachite. How are you doing this morning? Wikipedia, hi. Yeah. So we've got, you know, and this guy, how am I going to put this? I'm going to sound tinfoil hatty, but you are a very naive individual if you didn't think none of this was happening in Hollywood. There have been jokes for decades about the casting couch and actresses having been on the casting couch. There have been double entendres and innuendos of, you know, actors and actresses sleeping to get certain parts. How is this guy getting punished? We're no longer living. I know, right? I've got to look up and see when and if he is going to go to trial, because to me he should. Many of these women that are coming forward have stories from 20 plus years ago. Some as recent as 7. The problem is the statute of limitations on sexual harassment, on molestation, and rape is only 5 years. So it's going to be interesting to see how they charge him now that the statute of limitations is, you know, pretty much gone for most of these allegations and for most of these women coming forward. Let me see here. And in keeping with the absolute outrage, what you see there is what you get. Did I not? Okay, I'm going to have to open my AP app and read from that. Who you are looking at is Bergdahl. I am not going to call him by his stripped rank. I am not going to call him by his first name. I am not even going to call him by his last name anymore. This is the United States traitor that led to the release of 5 Taliban leaders. And for those of you who don't know, I will say his name one more time. His name is Bo Bergdahl. I have stripped him of his rank on purpose. This guy walked off of his post, deserting his base, his post, and his fellow soldiers. Most say under sketchy circumstances. Most say it was to join the Taliban. Some say he was hostage with the Taliban for 5 years. Some say he was working with the Taliban for those 5 years, that he was supposedly their prisoner. Obama, in his lack of infinite wisdom, decided to negotiate with terrorists. We'll give you 5 of your Taliban leaders if you give us back our soldier, because no man left behind. This was after several soldiers got seriously wounded looking for this idiot who just walked off base. Do I have any respect for Bergdahl? No, I have none. All that happened back in May of 2014. Let's see. He's pleading guilty with no agreement to desertion and misbehavior before the enemy. Pleading guilty with no agreement means he is not looking to have a plea agreement as of yet. I'm going to keep an eye on this story as well to see what develops. But as of yet, yeah, he's pled guilty, flat out guilty, and he's not trying to have any plea agreement or plea bargain as of yet. So we're going to keep an eye on Mr. Bergdahl and that story. Here. Where's my AP app? Where's my AP app? Fortunately, come on. Cooperate with me. No man left behind even when he walks off. Exactly. To me, if you desert your post, you left your men behind. We shouldn't be under any obligation of looking for you. We shouldn't be under any obligation of negotiating your return. You deserted your post. Link to which article? I've read snippets on about 3. This is I'm getting most of my news from news apps on my Windows phone. Morning, Doubting Tommy. How are you? Here, there we go. New Jersey man convicted in New York. Now, the reason I am reading this, if you go to the AP News website, you'll probably find it. The AP app does not give links. The AP app does not give any links to these articles. The way you see them is the way they are in my app, Scotch. So I'm sure if you do a search for Bo Bergdahl, you'll probably find the AP app. The exact search parameters would be Bo Bergdahl Associated Press, and he'll probably be the first thing that pops up. But I don't have links to any of these articles because I've somewhat changed the way I do my news. I run through the article, I pull out the talking points. Scotch. So that's the way I'm doing it now. No problem. New Jersey man convicted bombing that injured 30. Now, this is as of 20 minutes ago, the AP app. I'm going to read this, and I am going to react to it or respond to it because I saw some things in this article that made me go, as you can imagine. New Jersey man was convicted Monday of planting 2 pressure cooker bombs on New York City streets, including one that injured 30 people with a rain of shrapnel when it detonated in a bustling neighborhood on a weekend night like last summer. So this is about a year old. Okay. The The verdict in Manhattan came after a 2-week trial of 29-year-old Ahmad Khan Rahimi, an Afghanistan-born man living in Elizabeth. This is Elizabeth, New York. Banned cookware. No! Well, maybe the pressure cooker. It did burn my grandmother when it exploded. Those things are dangerous. Who knows? Let's see. The charges, including using a weapon of mass destruction and bombing a public place, carry a mandatory punishment of life in prison. Prosecutors said Rahimi considered himself, quote, a soldier in a holy war against Americans, unquote, and was inspired by the Islamic State group and Al-Qaeda to carry out the late summer attacks in New York and New Jersey. Pressure cooker of peace. Love it. Love it. Rahimi, wearing a wrinkled blue shirt and beige pants, stared straight ahead and at the jury as he was found guilty of all 8 charges against him. Yeah, I know. The defense promised to appeal. Surprise, surprise, surprise. Sentencing was scheduled for January 18th. Today's verdict is a victory for New York City, a victory for America in its fight against terror, and a victory for all who believe in the cause of justice, said June H. Kim, acting as U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York. Assistant federal defender Sabrina Schroff said her client, who smiled as he was led from the courtroom, remained calm as the verdict was delivered. Handle bad news in our own way, she said. In the prosecution's closing argument, Assistant U.S. Attorney Emil Bove described an unusually large amount of evidence that pointed to Rahimi. His fingerprints and DNA were found on bombs in the September 17th, 2016 attacks. Yeah, there's no way getting out of that one. Good morning, Harold. How are you? Thank you for joining us. Or good afternoon. My brain is running behind today. Dozens of videos tracked his movements as he dragged the bombs in suitcases through Manhattan streets, and they also captured the explosion at 23rd Street in the Chelsea neighborhood that injured 30 people. The second bomb didn't detonate. Let me see. What happened to suicide bombers? At least those assholes took themselves out. I know, right, Trina May? As a bomb squad investigator testified, prosecutors showed jurors a mangled waist-high trash bin that was sent flying 120 feet, that's 37 meters, for those friends in the UK, across a busy street by the bomb. The government called it a miracle that nobody was killed by the explosive, which scattered ball bearings meant to serve as shrapnel. If that wasn't enough, Bove said jurors could look at a small notebook that was on Rahimi when he was arrested 2 days after the attack, following a shootout with police in New Jersey. The prosecutor said Rahimi's written words provided a confession as he took responsibility for the bombings in a, quote, claim of credit, unquote, for attacks that left him feeling proud. He still faces charges in New Jersey related to the shootout. He has pleaded not guilty to attempted murder of police officers over there. Did not deny evidence linking Rahimi to the 23rd Street bomb, but asked jurors to question. Here we go. Here we go. Here's the part that made me go, I have to read this shit. I'm going to start over from the beginning again. Schroff did not deny evidence linking Rahimi to the 23rd Street bomb, but asked jurors to question whether Rahimi really intended for the 27th Street bomb to go off. She urged jurors to acquit Rahimi of 3 charges that could result in a mandatory life prison sentence, and she expressed compassion for those injured by the blast, some of whom testified during the trial. We'll read that again. Morning, Fenrir. Asked jurors to question whether Rahimi really intended for the 27th Street bomb to go off. That's the dud. That's the one that didn't go off. Morning, Callie. So, yeah, leave it. This is why I don't like some defense attorneys. They will do everything they fucking can, even completing sounding like an idiot, to try and get their, their client off. Of course, he put it there. Why the fuck would you put a bomb there without the intent of having it go off? I'm sure he made it just like the first. Futternut, I don't contend terrorism, but I need to ask, am I the only one that's disappointed by their creativity? Yeah, pressure cooker bombs. Let's see here. The first bomb hidden near a large trash bin set off a blast that sent the 100-pound, 45-kilogram dumpster into the air, shattered windows, scattered bits of metal, and caused people on the street to scream and flee the area. A bomb at 27th Street was discovered and deactivated before it could explode. Following, a homeless man and his friend alerted authorities after they found a backpack containing smaller bombs in a trash can near a train station in Elizabeth, New Jersey. Excuse me, that Elizabeth is in New Jersey. Morning, Mitch. Assistant U.S. Attorney Andrew DeFilippis said in closing arguments that Rahimi had carried out a cold and calculating attack with a variety of explosive devices that included a backpack filled with 7 bombs, some small enough to use like hand grenades. The prosecutor said Rahimi could be convicted if some bombs didn't explode because the government only needed proof that he took substantial steps to set off explosives. He had intent. I mean, to me, you don't build a bomb without intending the thing to go off. Otherwise, it'd be a waste of freaking energy, in my opinion. Go through all that bullshit not to have a bomb go off. Neil, at least I have some unique terrorism ideas, but I don't want to say them. Unless someone get ideas and the FBI be at my door. Yes, we do the FBI. We love having our Neil in the live chat. And just in case, that's a close-up picture of the idiot that bombed New York and shot at cops in New Jersey. Last time I heard about a pressure cooker bomb was the Boston Matter. Yep. Well, this was September of last year. Only one went off. So apparently he didn't do something to the second one. Okay, so let's see here. Before I go to the cringe article that our Mr. Scarecrow has found us this morning, I am going to go through the list of recommended videos. And if purposeful discussion is still in my live chat, go ahead and put the link to your video in there one more time. Why did they give him a ballistic vest? I don't know why they gave him a ballistic vest. I don't know why they did that. Okay, first one on the recommended list is Dire Wolf with No More Cooking with Love. He takes a snippet out of his podcast and he plays it in this video, but the snippet is funny because the article they're reacting to makes you go, what? And to me, anything that makes me go, what, is worth a watch. So that's Dire Wolf, No More Cooking with Love. Second one on the list, Dolphin Radio did a music video called Asshole 2.1. This thing had me laughing my behind off from beginning to end. You guys have got to watch that music video. Let me see here. Palace of Geekdom, for those of you who don't know, that is Igor's channel. For those of you that don't know Igor, that is Reading Ren's hubby. Palace of Geekdom is the channel, and he did a live stream interview over the weekend titled Interviewing Dr. Okrend, creator of the Klingon language. So he had a really big person that he was interviewing on his channel that day. Sinatra Says responds to Vox, who blames the media for making Antifa look bad. So that is, all those videos can be found in links below. So go check that out. Also, too, still in the description section is a link to our very own Rhetorical Entertainment's website blog, where he is starting a copyright series to hopefully inform people on how to avoid copyright infringement, copyright strikes, and how to avoid getting your channel taken down due to said copyright issues. So please check that out. It is going to be both a blog and a video series. He's doing the blog posts first. He is still trying to get to Kilroy in April of next year. I believe it's still in April of next year. And he is doing that by selling merchandise out of his store. So check that merchandise out as well. And that is our commercial for our favorite guy. You know, he's a pretty cool dude. Y'all need to check him out. All right, Independent. This thing was floating around all weekend, and Mr. Scarecrow decided to oblige me by sending me the link through Twitter. So we're going to read this piece of cancer this morning. How the teachings of Islam could help us prevent more sexual abuse scandals. Harvey Weinstein is just another case of a powerful man abusing women because we live in a society that lets him get away with it. But we can change that. Mm-hmm. Maybe if Antifa were an asshole, there wouldn't be videos of them being assholes. Exactly, Callie. Exactly. Let me see. Preventing sexual abuse, just preventing sexual abuse scandals. Exactly, Neil. If Harvey Weinstein, I hate this. Oh, let me click this, see if it'll actually close this thing. My computer, probably not. If the Harvey Weinstein sexual abuse revelation shocked you, then you're dangerously ignorant to reality. According to RAINN, an American is assaulted every 98 seconds. 1 out of every 6 women will deal with rape or attempted rape in her lifetime, and 90% of rape victims are women. RAINN is the organization. I can't remember exactly what the hell it. RAINN, because I can't remember what it. I'm brain farting. Here we go. Oh my God, she's doing a search on a live stream. Let me see. Yep, sexual assault hotline. I knew it. The sexual assault hotline. Prevention Navigator. All their stats and stuff are on the website. So yeah, that's RAINN. So, yeah, I'm gonna have to look that up. I'm a Muslim with a special interest in advocating for women's rights. Already sounding good. My advocacy is informed not just by the law, but by strategies detailed in Islamic teachings and Prophet Muhammad's example to preempt sexual abuse. Yes, the cancer of sexual abuse against women that we see in Christian majority America is just as prevalent in Muslim majority Pakistan, but also in Hindu majority India and state atheist China. This proves that men worldwide are failing in our responsibility to end sexual abuse and gender-based. Oh my God. Here you go. Let's start by understanding 2 facts. A woman's attire, alcohol intake, marital status, and education level do not contribute to sexual abuse. Abusive men do. No problem, Scotch. Second, sexual abuse doesn't happen in a vacuum. Every level of society, social norms, media, and government is complicit in promoting the rape culture that perpetuates sexual abuse. Yeah, it's only the men's responsibility. Yeah, I noticed that. That doesn't go without my keen eye noticing that. Let's see. Here we go. Sexual abuse doesn't happen in a vacuum, Hollywood. Sexual abuse doesn't happen in a vacuum. I keep thinking of Hollywood. They're definitely in a vacuum. Men are responsible. Yep, men are responsible for everything. Every level of society, social norms, media, and government is complicit. No. Well, okay. Hollywood is complicit because, I mean, casting couch and bullshit. All right. Neil, this isn't even internally consistent. I don't ask terrorists to fight terror. I know exactly. Does this mean we can't harass women in space? I've got no clue. All right, let's see here. Social norms demonize a woman for speaking out, victim blaming her by asking what she was wearing. Whether she gave signals inviting abuse or asking why she didn't speak up sooner. Okay. What she was wearing. That is a standard question that police ask in case they need to gather those clothing for evidence purposes. No one can hear you scream. In space, no one can hear you scream. True, Harold. True. As Corey Feldman, if sexual abuse happens in Hollywood. It happens in Hollywood. It's just they try to keep it covered up, Whether she gave signals abuse. Being flirtatious? Are you trying to say that being flirtatious? Oh my God. Okay. We're asking why she didn't speak up sooner. Because the woman feels ashamed. The woman feels dirty. The woman feels like she doesn't feel safe enough to step forward and say what happened to her. Personal experience. The media also advances rape culture by disregarding women and their voices. Why didn't the allegations against Weinstein gain clout when Rosa McGowan screamed them from the top of her lungs years ago? Why has society advanced people like Harvey Weinstein, Roger Ailes, Bill Cosby, Bill O'Reilly, and even our commander-in-chief? Forget that, and they let us. Morning, Panina. Part of the grab them by the pussy. They always leave the and they let you out. They're never going to acknowledge that's fucking locker talk. Just like women in groups talk about men, men in groups are going to talk about women. Period. It's fucking locker talk. It's inconsequential. Right, exactly. He asked for a message and I left. Massage and I left. Rape culture, exactly. Exactly. Despite the decades-long testimony of sexual abuse and rape from dozens of women, how can we rely on government when 90% of rapists never see a day in prison? Judges punish rape of an unconscious college woman with a measly 3 months in jail, award rapists with equal custody of the child born from a woman they raped, and the U.S. Department of Education rolls back rules that protect women in college from sexual assault. They're talking about the kangaroo court. About rolling that kangaroo, because you cannot believe everything that comes out of a woman's mouth when she says she's been raped. Women lie about stuff like that for vindictive purposes. Is it warranted? No. It is absolutely stupid to accuse a man of rape when he didn't even do anything like that. But women do that. Some women, not all. Hashtag not all. Some women do that because they're petty little fucking bitches that didn't get their way. Okay? And just as Mitch is pointing out, 20 years later with Weinstein, 20 years later with Bill Cosby, 20 plus years, and now they're coming out. Now they're coming out. Yeah, probably because they are debunked points. The fact is that states are not moral actors. People are. But when people let bad behavior go unchallenged, we inch closer to societal anarchy. In truth, expectation that we can simply pass a law to stop sexual abuse is foolish. Right. We can pass the laws. How come this article is sounding like teach your boys not to rape? Is it me? Or does this fucking article sound like he's saying teach your boys not to rape? One lies. Exactly, Wikipedia. Some people rape out of being vindictive. Some people lie out of being vindictive. Some people lie because they're pathological liars. Harold Wheeler Smith. I was literally watching two female YouTubers talking about what they'd like to do to a guy they fancied the other night. Reverse the roles, and that would be misogynism. Exactly. Because it's in this new little day and age, everything is one way. Everything is one way. I could probably sit in a public space with Liz Reptile and Callie, and we could sit there and wolf whistle and compliment and, you know, hey, look at the ass on that guy. Oh, that is a total beefcake. Hey, beefcake, all day fucking long, and nobody would say anything to us. But God forbid 3 men do that to women walking by. It's the same thing, just roles reversed. Because this is what has become of our society. It's one-sided. You know, I will do all the whistles. Morning, Mad Dodge. How are you doing this morning? But anyone, it's just, you know, articles like that with points that have been debunked over and over again. you get tired of repeating yourself, which is why I pretty much stopped doing response videos for the most part, unless something comes up that can be responded to that doesn't include, the same talking points over and over again. To me, that's the problem with a lot of content creators that are getting burnt out, that are getting tired of doing content the way they're doing it, because it's the same arguments over and over again. Sir Wolfie, I would be like, thank you. What are you doing? Yeah, right? I mean, it's like I remember one Halloween, I was working for this U.S. Census Bureau. Everybody, I think it was part of them picking on me. Now that I think back, they said everybody in the office dresses up for Halloween. So what do? I get in my Renaissance Festival dress and I go to work. I'm the only one in costume. Talk about a setup. On the way back to my train, there are about 4 guys. Morning, Seamus and Batman, how are you? There are about 4 guys in a construction truck. All of them Central American. A couple of them look Mexican. Some of them look from San Salvador, but we're not going to go into the whole aesthetics. They were Central American at best. And in Spanish, they were catcalling and, shooting compliments in my direction. And they didn't know me from Adam. Now, the funny part about this was I stepped 1 foot off the curb, looked at all of them in the truck, and in Spanish I said, I understand you. They all shut up and kept driving down the road, which I thought was absolutely hilarious because all their looks was like a doe in high beams. Like, oh shit, she speaks Spanish. She understood every single word. Yeah, I understood every single word you said. From the fact that I filled the dress out nicely to the fact that I had some, impressive cleavage, I heard it all. But, in other circumstances, if it would have been people saying anything in English, I wouldn't have acknowledged it. To me, in this society, there are going to be women who catcall. There are going to be men who catcall. Okay? And in regards to the men who catcall women have 2 choices. Own that shit, walk a little taller, and try and act like you didn't hear the shit because they are complimenting you. Or be eternally offended. I know. These are little... I'm going to put it over here. Nope. Little cigarette plug. Oh, there goes the monetization. Shit. Okay, anyway. My thing is, if I'm walking down the street and I get catcalled by construction workers, I'm going to turn, I'm going to look at them, and I'm probably going to judge them in return. And it's going to range from, honey, you ain't got nothing to impress me to. You got some muscles. I can see that. Not bad. You got to give it back. Yes, cheapies. Morning, straight Sith male. How are you? So, there's different choices. I can't, I don't want to live my life eternally offended. If somebody catcalls me, I don't have to acknowledge that shit. If somebody insults me, tries to verbally bully me, tries to verbally berate me, again, I don't have to acknowledge that shit. I can keep walking. I can ignore it. I can ignore that comment in my comment section that is a long string of insults, or I control that mother. I really have. Now, to me, and all of us that have seen this, and we all know and could probably agree, this newest wave of feminism is literally trying to put women in a box to where they're victims all the time. I'm not a victim. I can stand on my own 2 fucking feet. Okay? I can handle my own in a conversation, in a debate, and in an argument. And if I'm wrong, I will admit I'm wrong. If somebody tries to sexually harass me, I will bite, kick, punch, claw, scratch. Thank you, Seamus. Do everything I can to get out of that situation and go straight to the police and go, this is what happened to me. Can I rabbit call you? What if I bat call you? Well, it depends on the compliments. If you insult me, I'll troll you back. That's the way it works. I refuse to be a victim. And that's what this new wave of feminism is trying to do, trying to make females victims. I refuse. I completely fucking refuse. Okay? Gone are the days of trying to empower women. Now they're trying to strip women of all the power that we have fought for over these decades with all these laws to put us on equal footing. Now, here's the question that is probably going to piss off anybody that is any kind of activist. Well, it's not a question, it's a statement, in my opinion. That's going to piss off a lot of people. Number one, equality of outcome sinks businesses. Equality of opportunity does not. Affirmative action pushes equality of outcome. Affirmative action needs to be gotten rid of. If you cannot get a job on your own merits with qualifying degrees and the experience you need to fill that position in that company, then you don't deserve that job. Affirmative action, in my opinion, is outdated. Let's see, Callie, I did a drive and stare with this really hot dude once until the next light because we turned in opposite directions. Yep. Thank you very much, Seamus. Affirmative action promotes mediocrity. It does, Panina. I completely agree. It does. Affirmative action is sexist and racist if you think about it. It is. It is. Yep, it is. It is still a good chunk of change. Let's see. What else are we going to do? Oh, yes. October 31st, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Old Time Radio Theater here on MWM Media is doing a special airing of the 1938 radio play War of the Worlds. We are going to have a couple of guests on the panel, one of which likes to talk over people. Good thing I'm going to have a mute button. So Mitch Warren Ghost. If he talks too much, I can always mute his ass. Harold Weaver Smith. Question. If you can't say anything to a woman without permission, how do you ask for permission? It's a catch-22 situation. This new wave of feminism has created a catch-22 situation. Reports out there saying that men are not approaching women in the highly competitive corporate field because they're deathly afraid of being accused of being sexual harasser. Leaving the woman to fend for herself, which is what she's supposed to do to begin fucking with. They're bitching that they're not getting any help in the workplace. So which is it? Every male is a sexual harasser and leave me alone? Or let's work as a team so we can get something accomplished. You can't have it both ways. All men must learn ASL. Some women don't even want you to say your name. Exactly, no name. Exactly. Sir Wolfie, 200 live stream Q&A Wednesday night for me. Okay, just put that in the self-promotion, and I will tap that out Wednesday morning. That way everybody knows what's going on. I should invite myself. Rabbit privilege. Exactly. If tell anyone who promotes feminism to fuck off. Exactly, Panina. I mean, this is stupid. Let me see. Live stream announcements. 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Carlos Castrejo has What's Up in Archaeology. And today's is going to be very interesting, so I'm going to have to make it a point to go watch that. I was supposed to be on a live stream at 11 o'clock this morning with Kay. I'm going to have to reschedule that. Responding to an article, so he and I are going to have to talk about that because I didn't realize we were like 5 hours difference. I thought we were 4. I thought I had time, but apparently not. Jason's Pub is doing karaoke tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Jason usually does a chill stream every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time just to hang out, relieve some stress, bullshit, look up articles. But today, they're doing a little bit of karaoke. So you're going to have some archaeology updates on Carlos's channel at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and Jason's Pub at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, just for a chill stream and karaoke. Live stream announcements. I hope you guys will give them a little bit of support. And if you know anybody that's doing any live streams on a regularly scheduled basis, please DM me either on Twitter with the information or DM me on Discord with the information, because I want to be able to announce these, because we really need to support each other. I know I'm not that big of a channel, but if I can get that word out just to a few more people to get more people to these other streams, we need to support each other, because YouTube ain't doing it. We know YouTube ain't doing it. Together as much as possible. Doesn't matter. See here. All right, there we go. And I have to cover up the live chat for a second so I can move this over here. As is always, my friends, may your coffee ever flow, may your caffeine be ever strong, and may you have a marvelous. For those of you that are in my Discord, see you in Discord. For those of you that don't have the link, you can message me on Twitter. My DMs are always open. See you there.